All right, everybody, welcome to another video here for SyllaFX. So today is April the 25th, and we got another video here to recap the entry zones that I sent out this morning for the New York session to the VIP entry zone members. So let's go ahead and jump right into the chart here and take a look at our first entry zone for the euro-dollar pair. So this morning, we were looking at price being above a 1 hour support level that I drew out. So this gray line was going to be our entry zone to hope that price actually comes down to it, taps into it, rejects, always wait for the confirmation, the rejection wicks, to show that price wants to bounce off of that zone and continue its move up. So we were looking for a take profit about 40 pips on the euro dollar pair and risking about 15 pips on a stop loss for that entry. So let's take a look, see what happened in real time. So for this one, as you can see, we kind of zoomed in a little bit here. Let me bring it back out a bit. All right, so price did come all the way down to the entry zone like we were anticipating and hoping for, and looking to take a trade to take a buy position on this one here, right? Now, what you notice is once price actually got into that zone, we don't actually get the rejection wicks and the confirmation that it wants to bounce and come back up. So unfortunately, since we didn't get the confirmation, we didn't take a buy position on this one. So the first entry zone for the euro dollar pair is a no trade. So moving on to the next entry zone, which was for the dollar yen. Let's take a look at that chart here. So we were kind of consolidating a bit, not really a clear trend whether we were going up and coming back down or not. We did break below these lows here that were set up. So for the time being, I was looking to take a sell position. So wanting to see price come back up to this zone here, these rejections, this low that was broken, and get confirmation, get the rejection wicks that price wanted to reject and bounce off of it and continue its move down. So we were looking at risking about 15 pips for a stop loss on this one and aiming for 40 pips for a take profit. So let's jump into the live chart and see what happened today. All right, so at the time we were right around this area here at the time of the entry zone being set up. So if we zoom in here and see what happened, price did make its way back up to the entry zone that we drew out to get the rejection and take a sell position, right? Now, if you look closely though, once price got into that zone, it just continued up and broke above and closed above the zone. We didn't actually get the rejection wick and the confirmation that it wanted to bounce and continue moving down. So we didn't take a trade at this point here. Now, what you notice is later during the session though, we do see price come back down below the entry zone again, and then it comes back up and tests it one more time. Now, you could have actually entered in at this rejection wick. This is a good entry point here, or you could have entered in a little bit later in the moment at this point here. So this is where the actual entry was made for the sell position. Now, like I said, it could have been here or here. It doesn't really matter at that point. Now, we didn't change our actual stop loss point or our take profit point. So if you recall, we were aiming to risk 15 pips and aiming for 40 pips. Now, because the entry zone was, or the entry of the actual trade was a little bit lower, that did create a stop loss of 22 pips and only a take profit of 33 pips. But it doesn't matter because this still ended up being the winner. We got the confirmation wicks here, we got them again here, we even got them again here. So you had 3 opportunities to jump into this trade here and have a winning trade for 33 pips. Now, trading 5 standard lots for the dollar yen, 33 pips was, if I recall, $1,200, a little bit over $1,200, but we'll take a look at the actual summary in just a moment. So our first winning trade for the entry zone on the dollar yen today. Moving on to the next entry zone for the Aussie dollar here. Like I said, these were all sent out, I believe it was what, about 6 a.m., roughly about 6 a.m. Eastern time today, right before the London, or right before the New York session started. All right, so for the Aussie dollar pair, so kind of similar movement to the dollar yen. We did break below these lows here, so I was looking to have price come back up, retest, and take a sell position at this point here. So we were risking about 14 to 15 pips on this one and aiming for 25 pips on the take profit. So jumping over to the live chart, let's see what happened. All right, so as you can see, at the time that we actually set up the entry zone was right here, right? You can see here at this point here, we were already on the move down. So we never actually had price come back up to match our setup here. We didn't get price to tap back into the zone, no rejection wick, no setup for the actual sell position. So no trade on the Aussie dollar pair for today. So moving on to the last 4th entry zone that I sent out to the group this morning for the pound dollar. All right, so in this one, generally, we're still looking at buy positions for this here, because we can see basically an easy trend moving up. You do see quite a bit of a down movement here, but the general direction is still moving up. So I'm not going to trade against the trend. I'm still looking to take buys. So we had an entry zone here, but I didn't actually set it up there because at the time that I looked at the entry zone, we had already broke below it and closed below it, so that invalidated the zone. So looking at the next entry zone was right down here, looking for price to come all the way down, tap into that, give us the confirmation wick, guys. Be patient, wait for the rejection wicks to show that it wants to bounce, and then take a buy position. So jumping over to the live chart to see what actually happened on this one. Now, if you look here, we did have price come all the way down to that second entry zone that I drew out for the group. Now, what do you notice here, guys? Every time I give out an entry zone, I always say, be patient, wait for the confirmation, wait for the wicks. Do we see any wicks here? No. Price just continues moving down. There's no rejection, there's no bounce, there's nothing. So there's no reason to take a buy position here. So on the pound dollar here, the fourth entry zone for today, no trade. All right, so for a summary of what actually happened for all four of the entry zones today, for the euro dollar pair, we had no trade actually set up on that one, so we didn't take any position. For the dollar yen, we did have our one winning trade for today out of the four entry zones. We won about $1,235 for 33 pips on that one. And then on the Aussie dollar, no trade actually set up, so we didn't actually take a position. And the same thing for the pound dollar. So we got a profitable day for the April the 25th. As you recall, if you watched the video from yesterday, we didn't actually have any winners. We actually had two losers yesterday on the 24th. We were down about a little bit over $400 if I recall correctly, but we made up for that today, and we're in profit for today, $1,235. So appreciate you guys watching the video here. If you guys are keeping along with the channel and subscribing and liking the channel, you'll know that stay consistent, stay focused, be patient, and you'll end up profitable. And that's the part of the game here. Lose small, win bigger. So today we won big. Only one trade, but that's still $1,200 in one day, guys. All right, I appreciate you guys watching. If you like the channel, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. And if you want to join the VIP entry zones, go to SyllaFX.com and sign up for the program from there. All right, thanks for watching.